AFP PIERREPHILIPPE MARCOU Police say 300,000 protesters gathered in Barcelona to condemn police violence during Catalonia's independence referendum. Shouting "occupation forces out" and "the streets will always be ours." Hundreds of thousands turned out in Barcelona Tuesday to protest police violence during a banned weekend independence referendum in Catalonia. Columns of people converged onto the city center as the region went on general strike. A police helicopter flying overhead drew angry whistles as Catalans reel from the unrest that marred parts of Spain's northeast region on Sunday. On October 1st, we were in occupied country, and they haven't left yet, Antonia Maria Mora, a 56-year-old primary school teacher, said of National Police and Guardia Civil forces that were deployed to Catalonia from other parts of Spain to stop the vote. City police said 300,000 people were marching in the streets of Barcelona in a peaceful atmosphere, though there were tense moments as protesters said they feared agitators would try and sow discord. Closed for revolution. AFP Palbarina. A man wrapped in a Catalan pro-independence Estelada flag puts flowers on the gate of Barcelona's Ramon Llull school, which was used as a polling station, and was one of those targeted by riot police during the banned independence referendum. Madrid had repeatedly warned Catalan separatist leaders that it could not go ahead with the referendum in a region deeply divided over independence, but they did so anyway. As people queued at polling stations, riot police moved in to prevent them from voting, in some cases hitting people with batons and shooting rubber bullets, injuring over 90 people according to regional authorities. The Catalan government said 90% of the more than 2.2 million people who managed to cast their ballot voted for independence, but over half of eligible voters did not turn out in this region roughly the size of Belgium. Closed for revolution. Read a sign at the demonstration, while parents and children from a school, used as a polling station on Sunday, unrolled a giant banner that students had made. Nova Sagrera for Peace and Democracy read the banner with dozens of multicolored little handprints. Nearby, a group of friends wore black shirts with the sign "Very Fragile" pinned onto the back, in a dig at police. "You can't stop the youth," said Alfredo Vidal, the 68-year-old owner of a dry-cleaning shop, pointing to the hundreds of students walking slowly by, many draped in blue, yellow and red separatist flags. "When you provoke people, when you offend them, then they react against you," said Vidal. "I had never seen Catalans putting their hand on their heart during the Catalan hymn," he went on. "But for about a month now, I've seen them do it, especially the young," he said, as an example of increasingly fervent feelings among supporters of Catalan independence since Madrid started cracking down on the planned vote. "We will keep going." AFPLUIS. Tourists to Barcelona, a popular destination in Spain, seem bewildered by, but accepting of the general strike and protests. Bewildered tourists in Spain's second-largest city pulled their trolley suitcases through the protesting crowds. Over on the upmarket Paseo de Gracia Boulevard, visitors milled in front of architect Antoni Gaudi's quirky Casa Batlló, closed as its employees also took part in the general strike. "It's a bummer, because we're only here for a few days. But it's hard to say my vacation is more important than what is happening here," said Karen Healy, 53, from Portland in the United States. "I knew of the Basque separatist movement, but before this trip, I didn't know Catalonia was looking to separate from Spain," added her husband Brian Cormier. Earlier in the day, on the Gran Via which cuts through the city center, Zabiolo looked worried as he watched the gathering protesters, ready to pull down the blinds to his convenience store if he saw trouble. "They've just told me I have to close for the strike," he said of two men who had only just left the store. But he said he was reluctant, needing the money. He needn't have worried. Over an hour later, a large queue had formed at his store, protesters stocking up on water, beer and crisps as scores of other shops in the neighborhood were shut. Carlos Cardello, a 57-year-old engineer, vowed that this huge swell of peaceful protest would not die down. "We will keep going until someone listens to us," he said.